Today we're gonna be going over how I make 10K a month at 20 years old. It did not happen overnight, 3 years in the making. I'll give you all a little bit of backstory. So yes, this took 3 years, but I've only been locked in for 1 year. May of 2024 till right now. So long story short, started off 3 years ago, 17, I was in my classroom, an engineering class in high school, just figuring out what I was gonna do. I was playing football at the time. I knew I had dreams. I wanted to make it big in football, but I always knew I also need a backup plan, and I didn't really want my backup plan to be school or, just getting a job or anything like that. I started looking into business ventures because, people everyone wants to be rich, everyone wants to be wealthy, everyone wants to be financially free. Well, at least I did. I had a talk with my cousin one day, and he put me on to what I do now. He let me know that there was another way. So that kind of opened my eyes, like, okay, being an athlete is not the only way. Getting a degree and being a work person is not the only way. There's other ways. You can start a business, not just a general business like lawnmower service, but you can start other things, especially online. 17, cool. I turned 18, and a couple months later, I tore my ACL, completely ruptured my ACL. End of football, no more football. Supposedly, that's what they told me. Right. Obviously, no senior year. At this point, I had a couple looks from colleges, no real offers or anything like that. Just all of that just felt like down the drain. I didn't really have any emotional reaction to it at the time, though. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it's because in the back of my mind, I kind of knew that I was gonna eventually sway off to something else. I don't know. Long story short, once that happened, I stopped doing everything. I stopped everything that I was doing at that time. I literally just decided to just wait and see. I don't know if this was a good decision on my part. Maybe I just needed that time to process what really just happened. Either way, I eventually got back on it a year later. Before I got back to the business that I'm pretty much doing right now, I ended up trying to make the football thing work again. Got training classes. I started going to that, trying to figure out how I could pretty much just like get back into it. So I decided to come to UT Austin. Obviously I was top 6% in my class, so I got in here like automatic acceptance and whatnot. So obviously in the back of my mind, I knew I was still gonna pursue my major. Came here thinking, what better way to prove myself than to just get into a highly competitive environment off rip and try to make the football thing work. Little did I know this would go nowhere near my plans, like nowhere how I planned at all. Not even get a chance to try out because of my classes. So the way they have it here is you can't have classes during the certain times which like practice will take place, and which is kind of weird because you would think that would get handled after you make the team, but they didn't even let me try out. I ended up getting in contact with the coaches though, so I thought things were looking up. Conversating here and there, then I decided to just ask him the big question, like, hey man, so pretty much if I drop everything, lock in, work out, do all I gotta do, give you a great performance at the next tryouts, can I make this team? Like, what are we looking at here? And lo and behold, I got the worst possible answer I could ever get. He pretty much let me know that they do not take walk-ons, that they only do preferred walk-ons, which means like they still have to like scout you from high school. They just decide to not offer you a scholarship or whatever. They just let you come in, which kind of just ruined me. I was literally at a loss for words. I did not know what I was gonna do next. Thought I was gonna have to transfer, go JUCO, whatever the situation was, because I felt like this is what I really, really wanted to do, right? So fast forward a little bit, the summer came. I decided to get some football training. Got training with this one dude. I was doing that for a little bit, trying to, just stay sharp for the next opportunity. And I don't know, every day I would get back in my car on the way back from training, just drenched in sweat, just wondering like, I don't know, is this really for me? Like, things aren't going my way at all. And I know I'm supposed to like believe and trust the process, but it was very hard for me to do because I was coming off the situation. Like I said, when I tore my ACL, I didn't really have strong emotional feelings. So the thing is this, it's one thing to me to like believe in and trust the process and chase your one goal, but it's also something like, I don't want to be chasing the wrong goal, like what I think is my goal when I could find my purpose and like still reach my end goal, which was just to be financially free and to be well off. End of May, I decided to get back into it, lock in, full year, monk mode, no distractions. That's literally exactly what I did. I have clips and stuff I will be posting up on my story and stuff on my Instagram and on my YouTube just as we keep going forward. And also if y'all want to check that out, my IG is going to be in the bio. But either way, so yeah, boom. So I started locking in, day out, like early mornings, late nights. So the issue with me was what I was doing, which I'm going to get into, required a lot of my time at first is what I thought, right? So nowadays I'm not really that occupied with what I do. I've gained the skill necessary. I just put it into display when I need to, and boom, that's how we keep pushing. But either way, locked in for a year. Now here we are. This is not my first 10K month. So I actually had my first 10K month back in February, but being the person I am, I need that kind of verification, that kind of confirmation to be able to come out here and like let y'all know, all right, this is what I do. Yeah, now I feel like it's the time. Let's go ahead and hop into this and show y'all exactly the numbers. For everyone wondering what I do, I am a day trader, okay? So I do trade the US S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. The S&P 500 is the top 500 US companies. Their price action pretty much averaged out. And the NASDAQ 100 is the top US 100 stocks and companies pretty much averaged out. These are called futures. That's what I trade. So I trade futures. So yeah, so with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the performance and look at this 10K that I made. So here we go. This is my Top Step account. We have a total P&L of $2,024 on this one account. I do copy trade. So as you can see, it's copy traded to 5 other accounts. So when you do the math, 2,000 times 5, that's 10K a month. So as we can see right here, you see my win percentage. It's at 78%. That means I win around 80% of the time. I would call it more of 80. I'll get into that a little bit more because these numbers aren't actually quite accurate for some reasons, and I'll let you know what those are. But today we did take a trade that solidified everything, and we obviously banged on that. So as you can see, our profit factor is around 3.26. We made a total of almost $3,000 on this account, right? So if you do that math, that means if we made $3,000 on one account times 5, that's 15K a month. But we did end up with net losses of around $800. So you do have to subtract in the net profit is the 2,000 for the month, right? So it's not all wins. We all know this. If you don't know this, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who lied to you, but it's not always greens. You do have reds, but your job is to manage risk, and that's it. That's all you can do. Know what you're doing, manage risk. That's it. So let's scroll down a little bit. Let's look at the chart. So as we can see right here, these are our green days, these are our red days. We really only have 3 red days, which is contrary to what you saw at the top right there. Not that, at the top where it said that I had 5 losses, it's really only 3. It's actually 4. So we did take a loss right here as well, but we took a win right after that. So it's really only 4 losses. How this works is that sometimes you take a position and actually no, it is maybe 5 losses. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's all about the averages, right? So I don't know if y'all knew about the news that was going on, but the war between Iran and possible war between Iran and America. But as you can see, my system, my strategy, everything played out perfectly, even during these times. Less is more. Obviously, you don't see me trading every single day. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well. Like I said, at first it was very, very hectic what I had to do. I was putting a lot of time into this every day, multiple times a day, right? But now, as you can see, it's quite, I don't want to call it simple because that would be very, very misleading, but I pretty much wake up before New York session opens. I know these terms might sound like, what is he talking about? But like I said, just stay tuned. Follow the Instagram. I will be providing some educational content here and there on that as well, just so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. Wake up at New York session open, head on to the charts, mark out my PD raise, what I'm looking for the day, and get in my position. If it wins, it wins. If it loses, it loses, and I go on with my day, right? Okay, cool. So I do want to touch on one thing just to be totally transparent with you guys. So obviously, doing something like this does involve a certain level of risk, which means you have to be good at managing your risk. I was not a stupid kid coming into this, right? I was 17, like I told you. So because I had like information from my cousin who was already kind of doing it, I did not actually sustain the losses that you would think a regular day trader would take. So 10K of this money is mostly pure profit, because what would happen is people would lose money, make money back, be at break even, and claim that they made money. That is not what happened over here. I stayed strictly on demo for the most part when I was starting off. I obviously put in like $300 in my very first like account. You know, obviously we all got to start somewhere. I feel like that really helped me with my psychology because I was never too pressed about like losing the money and whatnot. And you know, so yeah, I'm just saying that out there. So out of this money made, a lot of it is net profit, totally net profit. So stay on demo until you're ready, guys. Do not try to do things that do not try to get that get rich quick, make money now mentality that's gonna hurt you in the future, right? Obviously, we all can say we've had it. I've had it at first, but I also kept in like, I always kept the main goal in my mind. I never really like did more than I knew I could do. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so 2K times 5, 10K, and yeah. All right, guys, so pretty much to wrap this up, if you want to learn more, you want to know more about what I do, or just stay around and follow the journey, my IG will be in the bio. Just send me a follow, and I will be giving y'all some free educational content here and there. My reels will be up, and you can just, you know, stay tuned and see where this goes, because we're only going up from here, guys. All right, peace.